Okay, hello everybody. Good afternoon. This is Kevin Elwood. I'm the franchise director for JEI Learning Center franchise operations, and I welcome you to this webinar. It's about 45 minutes, and I will go ahead and proceed and answer your what you're thinking. We won't be able to take questions at the end, but please feel free to send us your questions. Keep track of the things that you want to address, and we will talk to you separately on that. But in this forum, we don't really have the opportunity to do a Q&A. So I look forward to hearing anything that you want more clarification on. So thank you for attending this webinar on franchise business opportunity for JEI. I'm going to explain who is JEI, what are the JEI programs, what is the JEI franchise opportunity, and then the Q&A, as I said, please contact us with that specific information. JEI was founded in 1977 in South Korea. We are one of the world's largest educational companies globally. We have more than 500 learning centers worldwide and more than 60 here in North America. Over the course of our decades, we've had tens of millions of children who have studied in the JEI programs. Even today, we have more than 500,000 students actively enrolled in JEI. The word JEI is an acronym for the word Junyoung, which means talent. We are a South Korean company, as I mentioned, so Junyoung, excuse the pronunciation, is the word for talent, and that is the meaning of what we do. And so we believe that every child has potential for talent, and that talent can be unlocked through education. And so we are the tools to unlock that talent in every child and let them see their greatest potential. This is our motto, better life through better education. You will see this in various marketing and promotional literature. It is a placard that is also visible in all of our centers. And so this is the foundation of our belief and our mission, that by providing a better education, we are providing a better life to students. And the programs that we have are the catalyst for them to have that better life. We like to say that JEI stands for kids. A lot of people often ask, what does JEI stand for? I already explained that JEI stands technically for the word Junyang Educational Institute, but we, in a marketing sense, we like to say JEI stands for kids. It's a pretty evident response to show where our focus is, that we're child-centric in all of our operations, and that our curriculum is designed to cater to students so that they will be that they can reach their potential, as I mentioned. These are some examples of some of our marketing and advertising. We did celebrate our 30th anniversary in the past 2 years, and so we did a campaign standing for that, and we also did some special marketing activities surrounding that with the 30 years, how the students were involved in various activities at their centers. And so we kind of made a kind of a big deal about our 30th anniversary here in the US. So so that was a big milestone for us. And you can see kind of the visuals that we use in our advertising. We have that swoosh where it says JEI stands for success. So you will see that prevalent in all of our marketing materials. I'm going to go over what the JEI subjects are. We have 5 subjects. We have math, English, reading and writing. Then we have problem-solving math. And then we have a critical thinking program called Brain Safari. So there's 5 different revenue streams, I guess you could say, when students enroll, when families enroll their children. They can select among these subjects, and they can also select to enroll them in multiple subjects. It's very common to enroll in math and English. The Brain Safari Critical Thinking is also a very growing program. It's very beautiful. It's a beautiful program because it also it's kind of a holistic program that covers a children's ability to develop their reasoning skills, enhance creativity and memory, as it says here. So these 5 subjects are quite different from a lot of our competitors. So we have more product offering, and you'll see the subject ranges. For math, it ranges from pre-K through 9th grade, and it covers operations, measurement, geometry, data analysis and relationships. English covers phonics, reading, grammar, communication, and information for pre-K through 9th grade also. Then the reading and writing is, after students are pre-readers, then 2nd grade through 8th grade, and it features fiction, nonfiction, and other genres. And then the problem-solving math is kind of an adjunct to the math program, where it's for 1st grade through 7th grade. And this provides more analytical and problem-solving skills, more kind of word problems and, those kinds of applications of the math that they've learned, the application of those skills. And then the Brain Safari, as I said. Now, one thing that we do allow is we do allow the franchisee to interchange some materials. So if a family is enrolled in the math program, they will pay a math tuition, but the director and the instructor has the ability to, put some problem-solving math workbooks into the monthly plan, so that they're getting a greater variety of things. This is usually done through a consultation between the instructor, the director, and the parent. And then same with the English. Students who are enrolled in the English program, the director and instructor can supplement some of the reading and writing curriculum into their monthly plan, so that the student is getting some variety in that regard as well. And then finally, the critical thinking program, if any student is enrolled in any of the programs, the director can also bring in some of the critical thinking in their monthly plan. So maybe 1 week per month, they will get a critical thinking book, and in replacement of a math or an English book. So that again gives you versatility in your in what you can provide and service to the students. But these are all also, each of these are also standalone tuition programs. So a family can enroll in critical thinking alone. They can enroll in math alone. So those are the main focus of the curriculum offering, but you do have the versatility of some, to interchange some of the workbooks to make it even more personal for each child. Some of the features, we do call our workbooks programmed workbooks. The reason for that is the structure and the design are very ingeniously designed over our nearly 50 years in curriculum development. We've been able to refine and develop our materials. And so we make sure that they're fun and engaging. We give a lot of clues and activities to promote the students' interest. The curriculum is designed in a small step approach. So it's very incremental learning, so that it makes it easy for the child to build their confidence. So they will start at a level of mastery. When we do our assessment, we will find out what every child, what their abilities are and what they aren't. But we will start them in a place where they have ability and even mastery. And so right away, the child will feel, oh, this is good. This is easy. This is useful. And then we take steps from there and we build upon that foundation. So it's a small step, incremental approach to our curriculum. We also have what's called the spiral structure, which is really an amazing concept. What this means is, instead of what we're trying to do is we're trying to build the child's retention skills, the memory retention. When they learn something, we want them to retain that learning. So, a lot of competitors, or even just in life, repetition is one way to learn. You learn things again and again and again, and you get better at it. You get more, expeditious at it. And but the thing about that is, that can be very redundant and tedious and boring to a child when the repetition is just doing it again and again and again, the same task repeatedly. But in the spiral structure format, these concepts are folded into the curriculum. So as the child's advancing, they're seeing concepts reintroduced and reinforced, and they're able to master them as they go. And it's also building and fortifying what they've learned already. So it's deepening their strength and their understanding and their retention of the concepts. And so, but without that tedious redundancy of repetition, doing it again and again and again, and trying to improve accuracy and speed in that way, we build it in this way. So I hope I explained that in in a good way. But then the curriculum is designed to introduce a concept, then the students practice it, and then they prove their mastery to us. So basically, and I have a slide to go over the class routine, but basically new concepts are introduced in the center when the child is seated face to face with us. So we go over the new concepts, we make sure the child understands it, then we monitor them, we let them practice it, we watch them while they're seated with us, and before they leave the center, they've been able to demonstrate that they can accept this new concept, that they understand what it is, they've practiced it and in front of us and shown us ability to do it. And then they will take that book home and finish it throughout the week, which will be reinforcing and strengthening what they've already learned. So when they return that book next week, they will have mastered this material. They will have mastered the concept even before they leave the center today, but the book will build their mastery throughout the week. And so that is the three steps: introduction, practice, and mastery. So all the students who come to us take a diagnostic test. This is our proprietary material. And the goal is to find any missing links in the child's learning. So as I said, we're going to learn what they don't know, but we're also going to learn what they know. And this is going to help us in our diagnostic process and how to proceed forward. It enables the individual learning program for each student based on their specific needs. The diagnostic test covers study objectives and multiple grade levels. There is no guessing involved by the administrator with regards to the starting point where we will enroll a child. The materials are strategically designed so that the administrator, the director, and instructor will know precisely what to assign the student. The next step is the individual progress prescription report. The IPPR, this is something that we give every family when they enroll a child into our program. We do the IPPR, which is a generated report based on the results of the diagnostic test. So this is very precise. It tells all the things that have been determined through that test, not only the types of errors, not only the fact that they made an error, but the types of errors. And this analysis here on the lower left, it shows in different areas, or what we call domains, what the child excelled in and what they have some need in. And it sets a lesson plan, and it also talks about what are the progress goals. So this is a very nice report that is created through our technology. and based on the data that you input through your servicing the student at the diagnostic stage. You'll see on the right-hand page in the center, there's the prescription program. Those are actually the lessons, and these will be the incremental lessons that the student will embark on, and each one is a weekly plan. So this, just kind of at a glance here, this shows like more than a 2-month plan. Now that will modify as we go, but but you basically now have your plan very specifically fine-tuned for this student. So when the student visits the center, they will be introduced to new concepts, as I mentioned. They will bring in their homework to be reviewed and recorded. At the moment they arrive, we won't be able to grade it instantly. So what we do is we give them, as you'll see at the bottom, it says, take the interim evaluation to monitor progress and mastery. So this will, when the student arrives, before we can really grade their material that they did, we will ask them, how was your week? How was your book? And we will give them this little interim evaluation, which they will respond and do on site right there in front of us for just a few minutes. And that will tell us emphatically how they did at home. It will tell us that they succeeded and that they should be ready to take on today's class assignment, the new class assignment. But just stepping back a little bit, we will review and make sure we'll look at all the errors that were made on the homework that they're turning in, and the student will be required to make any corrections, and that will also be an opportunity for us to provide guidance to the student when we discover what kind of error they made. They might be able to correct it instantly. They might even say, "Oh, darn, how did I get that wrong?" So sometimes they instantly know the mistake they made, but sometimes they might need a little more guidance, and that's what the instructor will do. So we're always there face to face at the same table with the student to answer those questions for them. And then they will receive their new materials to take home, and all the new concepts will be introduced by the instructor. Now I'm going to cover franchising with JEI. So why should you franchise? Well, franchising is something that's already been tried and true. It's been proven. So when you can replicate a successful model, you will maximize your potential and minimize risk. So by franchising, you don't need to reinvent your own business model. There's already a business model to follow. Franchising has proven to be more than 2.5 times more likely that you will succeed in business by following a proven franchise model. And 1 out of every 10 businesses is a franchise business. You will work with a proven and successful business model, as I said. You have access to training and the proprietary business materials. So in our case, you will have, of course, the proprietary materials that the students will use, but you will also have the proprietary lesson planning and the IPPR model to guide you. And then, of course, you also have assistance. So we will provide you assistance in opening your business from the start to finish. The training is also a proprietary aspect of our model. And for the first year of your operation, the training team will be your partners. You will come to training. It is a 5-day training. Parts of it are virtual, but you may need to come either to our regional office in New Jersey, near the George Washington Bridge leading over to New York, or you may need to attend our training in Los Angeles, where our headquarters is located. But it is a 5-day training commitment, and that training team will be your your buddy for the next year. So they will train you, but they will monitor you closely for that first year. We also have an operations team that will also work with you in that first year. But after 1 year, the operations team will be your primary contact, and they will be your advisors. They will they will hold quarterly directors meetings. We will do them sometimes on site. We also have an annual conference. So there's all sorts of things that our operations team does to build the camaraderie between franchisees, where we're sharing information between all of us. And so that is between our training team and our operations team, you have a great support system. So why franchise in education? Well, one, child education is the fastest growing industry, or one of the fastest growing. Particularly during COVID, it became even more of a demand because of the loss of education during the pandemic. But parents spend about $1.4 billion on education for children aged 4 to 14, which are the ages that we work with. Um, an educational business is socially respected, and it's a strong consumer need. And education tends to be more recession proof. As I mentioned, even during the pandemic, the JEI was able to adapt well to it, partly because we are a large international company with high technology. um, our students were able to shift immediately from a paper book, which they would normally pick up at the center, to an electronic book. And so, we were able to access that and share it with our center operators and with the students and the parents. And so we were able to adapt quite well. And, certainly the pandemic hurt a lot of businesses, including people in the education sector. Some of our businesses as well felt the impact, but we also had some centers that even opened their center during the pandemic and have risen to become, quite successful and franchisee of the year. So I think, the recession, I think we can show that that this is a recession-proof business, and that the pandemic actually created a bigger urgency and more of a call to action to parents. So why become a JEI franchisee? Well, you would work with one of the world's largest educational companies. From a publishing standpoint, we have enormous volumes of printed material in different subject areas, as I mentioned, the 5 subject areas, even internationally, different language materials throughout the world. So we are one of the world's largest educational companies and publishers. We also provide you all the training and support that you will need at the beginning and on an ongoing basis. You will have access to all the shared information that we have from our other franchisees and from our headquarter operations and our overseas operations. We have a lot of key data and just information to share with you always about how to build your business, how to respond to parents, how to work with students in a special need area. So we have just enormous resources available to you. And we will share with you some of the differences between us and our key competitors. So this is a lot of what you will learn as you join the JEI franchise system. So what sets us apart from the competition? Well, we are one of the lowest investment franchises, not only among our competition, but even among franchising. We have a low investment of $61,000 to $111,000. These these statistics are based on our current FDD, which is the franchise disclosure document, and that's dated April of this year, 2024. And so that 61,000 to 110,000, 111, I'm going to show you on the next slide the breakout of that. And that just means that you need to be prepared to spend that kind of money when you embark on this kind of business. But it doesn't mean you may not actually spend that much money. So I'll show you that in a moment. From a royalty standpoint, we collect the lowest royalties among our closest competitors. and I will show you a structure on that as well. But we also have more revenue generating subjects. Many of our competitors have just math, or they have math and reading. We have math, English. Then we also have reading and writing, problem solving, and critical thinking. So we have a broader variety of opportunities for students to study. Um, also multi-unit growth opportunities. We would like ultimately for you to have multiple centers. Um, Once you open your first center and perform according to certain standards and benchmarks, then we would encourage and we would love for you to have another location. So this is also something that our competitors do not always offer. And same with protected territories. Um, we want to give you the peace of mind. When you open your center, we're going to give you a geographic area that we will share with you and show you, and that was strategically designed why this territory is this shape where it's located, and what are the key demographics that supported the decision to make that territory design. And of course, we will take your input as well. We have done preliminary data for the key markets that where we want development to occur. But a lot of it also will depend on the final location. So the territory map, we may flex it to fit more closely to the location that you wish to propose. So that's something we would work on together. But our competitors do not have protected territories. They also are not multi-unit strategic. They do not really view a business entity as an entrepreneurial opportunity. A lot of times they just want one franchisee to focus on one center, do your best at that, and be happy with it. But we want you to be able to do that in multiple locations. So we will train you and explain also how that can be done, where you can oversee your directors as opposed to being the director in each of those locations. The next slide here is the one I was mentioning about how that investment of 61,000 to 111,000 can be spent. The first three itemized items, those are fees you will pay to us. You will pay us 22,500 for the franchise. Incidentally, the franchise fee is discounted if you open a second center or a third center. So that will change also. But for every center, you pay the franchise fee of 22,500. You pay an inventory deposit of $5,500, which is the refundable deposit if and when you retire or sell your center or leave the franchise system. You will get your $5,500 back, and we will take ownership back of the inventory. In fact, ownership is always retained by us, even when it's in your center. That's why it's a deposit. You're not buying the inventory. Even when you pay royalty, you're technically not buying the book. You're reserving the book to be in your inventory for use, to be used for the student study plan. But now you can also see the other items: rent, real estate, lease improvements, which means build out, construction. Our footprint is very simple. I have some photos I'll show you of some of the centers, but construction can be minimized because we essentially only have a waiting room in the front, a large classroom in the back, and the only construction is to separate them by creating a director's office. Normally, the restrooms are already constructed when a landlord turns over the property. So with a very simple construction, you can create the center design that we recommend. We have multiple design recommendations that you can use, but some are very simple and very inexpensive to build. You need to buy furniture, you need insurance, you need to travel to come to training. You will need to buy a sign for your center. You need to spend money. you will see a $6,000 expenditure for your grand opening. That is a requirement. You don't pay it to us, but you do need to have it in your plan to spend on social media, print, mailers, an event, where you're going to be hosting visitors. So we will help you also with your not only your business plan, but your grand opening plan. But you should have a plan to spend $6,000 on your grand opening. Now, we have an incentive as well currently that we will give you a subsidy toward the sign on your center, toward the furniture, toward the paint and the branding of the center. But we also will match the marketing after you spend your $6,000 grand opening budget. We will spend 6,000 in the subsequent months from your grand opening to take you through the first year. So essentially, 6,000 you spend and 6,000 we spend. That can be your annual marketing plan for the first year to get you ramped up and then to take it forward to keep the momentum going. So we will again help you on how to spend that appropriately. This shows the royalty structure. We are the first category there, the sliding scale. As you can see, as your enrollment grows, your royalty goes down. So when you have 30 students enrolled in your center, you will pay us $35 for each of those students. That $35 does include the materials. So we will be shipping you all your materials. You're going to get the inventory beginning kit, and then you will get a new inventory replenished each month. That is provided to you as part of your royalty. So you will pay us $35 for those each of those first 30 subjects. You will be collecting a tuition maybe in the area of $175. So you can see the kind of the gross revenue, and then what your net might begin to be. Here's the royalty as one of your net items. Now, as you grow, it incrementally drops, and that counts for all of your students. So, for example, once you get to 241 subjects, all 241 of them we will charge you just $23. And again, keep in mind you're collecting your tuition of maybe $175. So so we don't charge you just $35 for the first 30, then 32 for the second 30, 29 for the third 30. No, as you reach each of these benchmarks, it's for all of them. So all 241 of your students, subjects would be you would be charged only $23 for each of them. Now you can see the two other brands. See that these are two other key competitors, I guess you could say, because we are different than a lot of competitors. I should say we're different than a lot of tutors in the industry, but there's a few who are more in the category of tutor that we are, where, kind of developing the self-learner. And we are more of a premium than those other competitors for the reasons that I stated. Students are seated at the table with us. In our competitors, they don't really do that. Usually the instructor is standing and roaming the room and not engaged with the student. They're really just observing. But that's something we will explain to you in training, how we are different from our competitors. But you will see the royalties also are quite significant. If you get to 241 subjects, the difference between $23 and $40 and $41 almost, or even 36, their royalty will never drop. They only have a two-tiered system where we have what is it, 9 categories. So we're very proud of our royalty structure. We're very proud of our premium service that we're able to provide through this service. So even though we're the lowest royalties, we actually have a better service in the way that we deliver our instruction to the students. So I'm going to give you a quick overview of the site requirements. So a typical learning center is in a retail storefront location. It will have anywhere from 800 to 1,200 square feet. It will have good visibility from the road, nice curb appeal, ample parking, safety. When children get out of the vehicles with their parents, it needs to be safe because sometimes parents will just open the door and let the kids out. So you need to think of the safety of the location. Of course, we need to train parents as well how to bring the students to the center for the ultimate safety. But you need to have prominent signage. It will be a retail illuminated sign typically, very professional, and sometimes they're called a raceway or a channel letter uh, uh, mount. So I'll show you some pictures of that. But as I said, also we have some subsidy for you to support that. And then you should be located in key areas where there's good retail opportunities, but close to the schools and the families and even competitors. It's if there are competitors in the market, that means the market is proven and successful and that there's a market demand for it. We cater to children ages 4 to 14. I mentioned that we will be seated with the student, our instructors who you will hire. You will be the director, you will hire the instructor. They will sit in an arrangement, a study station, where the one instructor will have perhaps 5 students seated at the table. Each student is doing their own thing. The instructor will be observing and overseeing them during that hour session. And the center might be open 4 to 6 days a week. We recommend 25 hours minimum. And we will also explain how you can strategically open and add days for efficiency. It's best to, maximize your seating capacity, your employees, you maximize the 5-to-1 ratio. If you're seating them 3-to-1, your profitability is less. And also don't perhaps add an additional hour or an additional day until you need it. So once every seat, a 5-to-1 ratio, is filled, then you can strategically add your days of the week and hours to the day. The center should be very nice to enter, should be visually appealing, very comfortable for students and parents. And you may utilize certified or accredited teachers, but we do not necessarily recommend that. It's not required because we will train you and you will train your staff, and we have tools to train your staff on the paradigm of learning. So it's not all about the teaching, it's how the students are learning. So when you hire an accredited teacher, sometimes you're paying them a high pay for a skill that we don't really want them to use too much. Yes, we do teach kids, but we facilitate their learning. So that is kind of the difference, and we will explain that deeper in our personal discussions with you, and of course at training. Site selection, these are just some samples of what the sites might look like. Very clean, very professional, very beautiful. In a nice retail setting, nice signage, and these illuminate for nighttime signage. And it's kind of interesting, the one on the right, even though it reads red and black, at night it illuminates white. And so sometimes this is in accordance with the ordinances or with the property requirements. Signage sometimes has local requirements. So we work with you on that. We have a wide variety of material, artwork and such, so that you can have different layouts. Like you can see the one on the left has this kind of a smaller chart or mount that says math, English, reading, and writing, which is a little different than the one on the right. But it has a different kind of mount. the logo is larger on the one on the left, where the one on the right, the logo is more tied to the top line. So we have a variety, but they all fall within our branding requirements, which are very specific. They cannot be distorted in any way. We will approve every sign that you will utilize because branding is very, very important. And that is part of what you join franchising for, is for the unified brand, the unified system. So these are just some other examples. You can see some of the neighbors are other retail, businesses, which help draw traffic actually. So if there's a martial arts, if there's a dance studio, those other child-related businesses can draw traffic. But even restaurants and things like that, where there's a lot of in and out on the shopping center, that gives you great visibility. Here's a kind of an example of the build out. So it starts out on the left, you can see it's a big rectangular location, but essentially all you have to do is build this one room, which has a window facing to the front. So when the director is in their director's office, they can see out the front window to see who's coming in the front door. And then at the back side of that same room, there's a window facing into the classroom. So the instructor, should say the director, can see the activities inside the classroom, how the instructors are working with the students. And then you can see on the left, it's kind of a big class. It's a broader area where you can have multiple study stations operating. This is some of our branding. You'll see the coloration and the dynamics of the graphics. Again, this is very specific and needs to follow the designs that we provide. And we give you a subsidy as well on the paint and the labor to do that. And you'll see Better Life Through Better Education. We have many of these placards that go, you can see that one on the picture to the right. You can see the apple. It's kind of Newton's apple. And it has, mathematical expressions on it. And then in the front room, as you enter the center from the front door, there's what we call the red wall, which has the, very specific brand identity, the JEI Learning Center. This you will find in every learning center as they enter, and we give you all the tools to do that. That is actually all of these wall decor items are part of your incentive package that we offer, currently valued at up to $15,000. And then, of course, we will help you and guide you on how to have a successful grand opening. And there's ribbon cutting ceremonies in association usually with the Chamber of Commerce. We have a good guidance in our training and in our essential tools that will give you all of that. And of course, our operations team and our training team will guide you on what would be successful tasks. What would be a good way to spend money for a return on that investment versus sometimes we get requests for, I don't want to say silly marketing, but marketing that sounds unique and creative and is often expensive, but is not really effective. And over our many years, we've learned what works, what doesn't, what's a good return. So we will guide you on that. But a ribbon cutting is always great. We will be there. The community will be there. Maybe the mayor, maybe some principals of some schools, and other prominent dignitaries, which also just bring a lot of credibility to you. You can see more pictures here, very beautiful, happy occasions of a grand opening of a franchise center, JEI. We give you this support. We will provide you the new franchisee training. We call it NFT. I mentioned it before. It's a 5-day session. Some of it is done remotely from home, but it also may include visit to a center, so you get a little bit of hands-on as well. We will provide you in the assistance in finding your location and help on the design and build out recommendations for it. We have demographics we will provide to you. And we will tell you, the strength of these markets, why we've selected them. But we also want you to do your own research. Don't rely entirely on what we provide to you. And you know your area. Look around, look at the options that you wish to propose to us for your location, for your site. Then we will approve a couple things. We will approve the address because your address must be in your territory. We don't want to, have you open a center like on the edge of your territory or even outside your territory. Now, we can brainstorm on that. If there's a better opportunity somewhere else, if it's available and it's not impacting other locations, we can strategize and work with you on that. But anyway, so we will approve not only the physical location, but the site, the location itself, the address. We will provide you with your grand opening support, open houses that you may have uh, throughout of course, at your grand opening and on other occasions. We will provide you all the training and webinars. We have tools that will help you. We will train you, but you will need to be responsible for training your workers. But we have tools to help you do that. We have tools to help you select and screen your candidates that you want to hire. Um, the training team will visit and the operations team, they will visit and provide ongoing support. They will provide consultations. And of course, we're always just a phone call away. And so your support is always readily available, you know. So, okay. And then what happens at training? It's a 5-day training. We go over the comprehensive details of the materials, the study program. We also go over the process of how to conduct the diagnostic testing, how to convey those messaging to the parents, um, how to, you know, uh, overcome objection when parents say, well, maybe my child doesn't need this. And we will explain how our diagnostic is important. And we want them to understand us. And we want them to buy into what we are providing. We don't necessarily provide the parent what they want. We need to explain to them what is JEI. And this is the expertise that we have. And, sometimes parents don't get it at first, but we have to explain further so they understand how we do it. Because this is also part of quality control, quality assurance, and it must be the same at all centers. So if every parent in every center wanted to do something on their own, then you're going to have haphazard things happen. And that is not profitable for you either. So anyway, we have what we call the global system. It's a web-based uh, management tool. Your lesson planning is built into it. Your inventory is built into it. Scheduling, class times, tuitions, invoicing. There's a whole infrastructure in our JEI global system, which is an invaluable tool to you. And we will train you on that. We also, and also in the global are a lot of resources for you. So when you have a situation where you think, oh, I want to look into this, you can see how some tools that have been used, how to, supplemental tools, how to address a specific need that you want. Um, we will help you with your opening, marketing, and promoting your center, uh, all about your operations, how to, we also, besides have our training manual, we have an operations manual. And these will be provided to you. Again, they're very proprietary, and they will be provided to you at training. And they will tell you everything about operating your center. Of course, there's modifications can be made, your days of the week, the hours of operation, things like that. There's a lot of adaptability that you have to make it for you. But we have all those tools and the recommendations on how to modify. We will give you the practical training, as I said, attending a real center. And then we will tell you how we differ from our competition. Uh, do I need to have an educational background? No, you do not. and we will train you and we will certify you. So you will get your certification in the JEI system from us. And, if you have experience, that's wonderful. But in some cases, we might train you how not to apply those experiences. Because again, you're following a strategy and design of a mode of instruction that is our proprietary system. And so we don't always want outside influences that distract from that. So um, you don't need to be an educator. We will train you how to be our kind of educator. Um, what we're looking for are highly passionate people who are passionate about children and education, who have excellent interpersonal skills and communication skills. A smile is always very nice, useful in this business. And your ability to manage people, not just your employees, but your students and parents, and even the community. So we want you are the face of JEI in your community. So when you are talking to school teachers or principals or administrators, school psychologists, things like that, you need to know what to say to them. So you're not managing them, but you're managing messaging to them. So there's a lot of aspects of personnel engagement. We will help you with your business and marketing. If you have that experience, that's a plus for sure. We want you to be well capitalized and funded. We expect that you have a net worth of about $150,000, which is not, again, this is kind of on the low investment range. We also require low investment capitalization. If you have home equity, things like that, that will put your net worth over 150,000 plus your other assets. That is what we look for. Um, we want you to be enthusiastic and committed. We want you to believe in our system. So we want you to be open-minded about it. We want you to have a desire to learn. Sometimes at this stage, you're hearing what we do and you might like it, but you may not yet love it. And we want you to love what you do. We want you to fully believe in what we do. And we want you to have an entrepreneurial spirit. Um, we offer a premium program, as I said. We are seated with the students face to face. There's not much more premium you can get than that, other than maybe a one-on-one tutor, which has its benefits, but honestly, that one-on-one, yes, it's premium, but it also has a high codependency. Our system is 1 to 5. The student is working with us, but we're monitoring them. So there's a more independency, which is one major aspect of our learning system, training students to be independent learners. We are a low investment franchise. We have the great royalties that I said. We beat the competition in many aspects. We have protected territories. They don't. We have multi-unit potential. Most of them do not. We have 50 years of proven know-how. So we are an internationally, I would say, a power brand, actually. We provide ongoing training and support. And we currently are offering the $15,000 in incentives that I mentioned. So the next steps are to complete the application, conduct an initial interview either with myself or my colleagues who handle different areas. And we will provide you the FDD, which is the franchise disclosure document. Any company that calls themselves a franchise has a document called an FDD. It's a standard, it's designed in a certain format so that you can understand the business that you would be embarking on, know who we are, what are our financials, what's our network of franchisees. And so we will provide that book to you so that you can do your due diligence, and you will create what's called the FDD receipt. So once we give it to you, it's just a page that you sign and it's dated. That way it means that we're following legal protocol of disclosure. We want you to review the FDD thoroughly. we can answer any questions you have, but we want you to do your own due diligence. As I said, we're going to give you some tools, but please do your own additional research, and then we can follow up with each other and schedule more appointments to go deeper and to discuss who you are, who we are, what the market areas are, where you might want to proceed to open. So this is my contact information, Kevin Elwood. So my email is kelwood@jeilearning.com. My phone number, 678-733-5383. And we can discuss territories, the investment, and the incentives that we have to offer you. So it's, I think we're just coming up. I think we about 50, 55 minutes we've been talking. So please document your questions, send them to myself or to anyone else that you might be already talking to in my company, in our company, and we look forward to it. So thank you so much for joining us today, and we appreciate it, and we look forward to talking to you further. Thanks so much. Goodbye.